All right, Unit 109, Biggest Loser team. I wanted to make a quick video and just say how pumped I am to work with everybody. If you are seeing this video, you have found our group Facebook page, which will be where we kind of communicate during the week, and we can talk to each other about tips when you're going to a particular restaurant, or when you are going to a party, or if you're having a bad day and you need some encouragement, or whatever. This is where you're going to find it, here on this Facebook page. So number one, that's cool, you found it, so you're good at Facebook, so you're better than me, because I don't understand it half the time. But anyway, I wanted to do a really quick overview of the kind of diet plan that we're going to use for this, and we'll talk more about it when we all get together prior to actually starting the Biggest Loser program. So the diet plan that we're going to use is going to emphasize protein. It's going to emphasize fibrous vegetables, and it's going to allow for some indulgences if you so choose. So we're doing this based on a point program. And before you go all Weight Watchers on me, this is not Weight Watchers. This is completely different. So we are all going to be allowed 5 points daily, and I'll tell you how you'll accumulate those points. The goal is to use as little of those allotted point totals as possible. So if you were to absolutely follow the diet to a T, you would end up not using any points a particular day. If you were to max out as close to being off the diet as possible, you would use your full 5 points during the day. The goal at the end of the entire program is to have saved as many points as possible. So let's say the program is roughly 60 days, you have 5 points a day. So you're going to be looking at a total of 300 possible points over the 60-day diet. So I hope my math is right there. That makes sense. 5 times 6 is 30, so that should be good. So at the very end, if you were to stay perfect on the diet, you would have 300 points left. If you were to do really well on the diet, you would have 250 points left. If you were to that doesn't really matter. The thing is, at the end of the 60 days, you don't want to have accumulated more than 300 points, and that means that you've stuck to it fairly well. So there are 4 different categories of food. Each category has a different point allotment. So you'll see how this works. Free foods, meaning you can eat as much of this as possible and it will not count towards points during your day. These are the foods you're going to want to base your entire diet on. So if you haven't guessed it, this is going to be meat and fibrous vegetables. So any type of meat. You are looking at chicken, fish, pork, beef, turkey, whatever you can think of that would be considered meat. That is a free food. You are allowed to eat that as much as you want until you're full, until you feel good. Also, eggs fall into this category. Eggs or egg whites, I don't care, whichever one. Any kind of fat-free Greek yogurt, fat-free cottage cheese. Ugh, I hate that, but you may like it. If so, that's a free food. Diet soft drinks are a free food. Water is obviously a free food. Flavored water, Crystal Light or whatever, free food. So all of those things you can eat as much as you want. It's pretty simple. So your diet, obviously, the more of those foods you eat, the better. So those should be a staple in almost every time you sit down to eat a meal or a snack during the day. 1 point foods, pretty much any serving of fruit. It's got some carbohydrate in there, it's got some sugar in there, but it's still a lot of good things for you. So an apple, a banana, a handful of grapes, a handful of berries, pretty much any fruit is going to be a 1 point food, and it's just a standard serving of that fruit. So if it's like a berry type thing, a handful is a serving. If it's an apple, it's 1 apple. I guess that makes sense. So those are 1 point, so you could have 5 apples, you could have 5 bananas, you could have 5 handfuls of grapes. I don't care if you wanted to do it that way. The point is, this is flexible. 3 point foods. This is getting up into the kind of higher carb, may not be the best thing to eat all the time in respect to this diet that we're doing here. obviously different goals are going to require different types of food, but for what we're trying to do here, weight loss over 60 days, probably best to limit these things. But you can still get away with them in the diet because they're 3 points. So it still leaves you a little wiggle room. Potatoes, white potatoes or sweet potatoes, don't care, both are good. A serving of oatmeal, which is typically a half cup dry, that's a 3-point food. A serving of rice, which I believe is typically like a half cup dry measure, that would be a 3-point food. 2 slices of bread, wheat bread, white bread, I don't care. That's a 3-point food. So you could, in actuality, you could have a 3-point food during the day. You could have a sweet potato, and you could also have an apple and a banana, and there would be your 5 points for the day. So that would be, the rest of your food would need to come from the free food category. Flipping the page over to the dirty dark side here, 5-point foods. It means you are going to, this would be the only point allotted food that you would be able to have during the day. This would be a serving of ice cream, a serving of like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, like kiddie cereal, a full calorie soft drink, a serving of like Chips Ahoy cookies or Oreos or something junk food that you would typically think of as junk food will be a 5-point food. So that's not saying that those foods are off limits. They're not off limits, but you're going to have to allow for them. You're going to have to budget for them in your day. So if you know that you're going to want to have some ice cream to watch a football game or whatever, I guess when this starts, football will be, except for the Super Bowl, will be over. So if you want to have some ice cream while watching the Super Bowl, you're just going to have to allow for that during the day. You're going to have to keep the rest of your day's foods in the free food zone. And then you can have your ice cream, your serving of ice cream there at dinner. So the purpose of this diet is to not be overly restrictive. I want you to see a list of things and think, I can eat as much of this as possible, and I am quote unquote on my diet. It's perfect and it's great. And if you need to have some other types of foods thrown in there, you've got this point system that's going to allow you to do that and still stay on the diet. You're just going to have to be responsible and you're going to have to be accountable for what you're doing and be honest with yourself and say, I don't have any points left today. Any other food I eat is going to have to be vegetables or some sort of protein today. Or I only have 3 points left, so I can only get away with having 3 pieces of fruit or a sandwich on some whole wheat bread or what have you. So you just got to be honest with yourself. And you're going to have to kind of hold yourself accountable, and that's what I'm here for too. That's what our Facebook group is here for. That's what all of your teammates are here for. That's what everyone in the church is here for, is to support you in this goal. So I hope this makes sense. We'll talk more about it, but I wanted to kind of throw this out there so you'd have an idea of what we're going to be doing and kind of the recommended diet for this program. And I'm happy to talk with each one of you individually about how many points would this food be or how many points would this food be. And I can kind of give you an idea. But I hope that helps. I hope you're as excited about this as I am. I'm super, super pumped. So I will be talking to you all really, really soon. I'll probably see most of you on Sunday. So have a great rest of the week. Happy New Year. And I hope you're ready to roll with this program. I'm really excited. All right, let's get it. Bye.